starting with breaking news out of Libya tonight. Some extraordinary and shocking video. It was uploaded to YouTube earlier today. CNN cannot independently confirm the details of when and where it was shot, but we're told it shows civilians on a street in Masrata being bombed. Watch the scene. Extraordinary footage there of civilians apparently being bombed in Masrata in the last 24 hours. Some in the crowd were heard shouting, "God is great," and "Freedom, freedom," just before the explosion hit. We don't yet know what happened to the people closest to the explosion, or indeed who caused it. We also have dramatic new video that was taken in Tripoli in the last few hours, showing traces of fire over the city. There have been a series of bombardments from Allied forces towards Colonel Gaddafi's forces. And I want to go straight to CNN's Nick Robertson, who is live for us tonight in Tripoli. Nick, what is the very latest there? There seems to be a lot of activity, a lot of bombardment going on.
It's been quiet for about the last 3 hours, Piers, but this has been a very busy night in the city. We've seen at 8 p.m. this evening, at 10 p.m. and midnight, strikes on the city, followed by heavy anti-aircraft gunfire. It's not clear exactly where those strikes have been. One of them, at least, we're told, was in the port area of the city. An eyewitness overlooking that area said the strikes were near some of the Libyan naval vessels that are in Tripoli harbor. He described 3 missiles hitting some of the facilities next to those Libyan naval vessels. Some of those vessels carry radar equipment, possibly connected with air defense systems. It's not clear. We haven't been able to go there and independently verify here.
And Nick, you were allowed to survey Gaddafi's bombed compound earlier. How bad was the damage there?
It was bad. One of the buildings in the compound, in a sort of a large grassy park, part of this sort of several square mile large compound that includes barracks for security forces there, was targeted. 2 missiles had gone through the roof. The roof was collapsed forward, 4-story building made of heavy concrete, rebar metal. The center of the building was collapsed down. The rooms on either side were still intact. I've seen far bigger missiles hit buildings before and take out larger areas, but this seemed to be a very precisely targeted pinpoint strike on this particular building. Yes?
And Nick, I mean, do you believe that the intended target was Colonel Gaddafi himself?
You know, government officials there have told us they believe it's intimidation of him. This is his compound. This is where he's believed to live. This building is a building, we're told, and we're told by the journalists who've been there before, that it's a building you wait in before you go meet Muammar Gaddafi in a nearby tent. That's how it appeared to be to us. Impossible for us to get better insight into it because it was nighttime. Certainly, if this were a sort of a decapitation strike, as we saw at the beginning of the 2003 Gulf War, an attempt to target Saddam Hussein in one of his palace compounds outside the city of Baghdad, if it was that sort of strike, this is exactly where you'd expect it to come. Of course, the coalition says they're not trying to target Gaddafi himself precisely.
And Nick, there were reports from various organisations led by Fox News that there was an Allied strike that was called off at the last moment today because of journalists, including yourself, being taken to the compound and being used perhaps as some form of human shield. And what was your reaction to that?
I found this unimaginable, hypocritical, irresponsible, outrageous. I also heard that in the same report, Fox has said that they hadn't sent a news team on this trip because they thought that it was a propaganda trip for the government. Yet sitting on that bus with the 40 or so journalists who went there was a member of the Fox team, a non-editorial, non-technical person who was given a camera because the correspondent and the cameraman for the team wanted to stay back here in the hotel. They don't go out on many of the government trips here, and they left it to this person as part of their team to go get video of something they subsequently said they didn't send anyone on. We went there with 40 or so of the journalists and went in. The government took us in. It took 30 or so minutes to get there. We went in pretty